the main application. Once we've created the class object, once we've created that file called wallet, and we've mentioned all the properties and methods inside the wallet object, we now create the main application. The main application looks pretty much like that. We're going to use something, import java x.swing. Who knows why we need that?
For the J option.
J option thing, yeah? And why do we need import java.util?
For the scan.
Huh? For the scanner. Yeah. So that's why I put them up there. And I've created a class called my wallet application. Obviously you have to call the file itself my wallet application. So there has to be a file called my wallet application.java. Otherwise it's going to be a problem. That's the way Java works. Other languages it's not necessary. You could, but yeah, they're standards. You know, you start, you know, the variables in a certain format, or largeness. You know, you can have the. You could use in 2 words. You maybe use the second one, but capital. Has anyone heard of that?
Capital,
The capital or small?
capital.
Does that has to be capital or small?
Yeah, capital.
It's capital already.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
No, Sami, it's just to point out to people who don't
Oh,
know,
right.
so that it's a learning process, so
Yeah.
everyone can be aware. Just in
Alright,
case
okay.
whether someone makes a program but they make it with a small letter.
It will still run.
It will run, but it'll be a mark less against your exam.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about the mark list. I'm going to take it out with the lecturer, but I don't personally. I don't know. I know it works. That's the way I wrote it. By chance, I got it right. So I don't know. So pretty much, you have to put the main inside another object. So this is the main object class, and then in here, this is the syntax. You've got public, static, void, main, string. Sometimes you use the NetBeans, it will actually give you the template. You don't need to write it out. Some other editors, you have to write it out yourself. And in here, we're going to do something. This is where we're going to do your printing, you can do your, offer the customer or whatever, different options to charge the card or to debit the card, to close the account, all that stuff. We're going to do something. So obviously, for those that don't know about print and stuff like that, I've covered some of the stuff that we're going to use in the program. Printf, this is the syntax for it, system.out.printf. Your balance is, who knows what this is? Come on, guess. What's that? That percent minus 9.2f. Go ahead, Imran.
The number 9 represents how many you can get before the point, and the number 2 represents how many decimal points after,
Yeah.
and the f means float.
Alright, good. That's pretty much that's a placeholder. That's where there's going to be some information that's going to pass into here. If I put that here, it's going to put it there. Yeah. And this is the variable just there. Yeah. So there's a variable called balance somewhere in the program, and it's holding a value, and that value is going to be passed into here. So printf is very useful when you're formatting currencies and so on. Yes, you want to format your text. That's pretty much like that. If you know Objective-C, we use a lot of placeholders as well. Same thing, same kind of placeholder, we use that. So that's the reason why I use that to print out currency. The other one, it gets a bit complicated. What happens when you try to print a float number, sometimes it just prints up, like say, for example, you want £9.95, £9.95, 6, 7, 8, 2, 1, and it will just print the whole float number. And that's no good for a currency, isn't it? So that's why we use printf. We use printline. You can try it out. You'll see the difference, especially when you're dealing with doubles. It can give you a very long number. If it divides the number or does some calculation, it can give you a very long number. That's a different way of doing it. Print and print line. That print line basically just prints that line and then goes to the next line. This one prints this line and it stops. The cursor will keep flashing at the same line. It won't go to the next line. So that's print line, that's the syntax. It's exactly the same as printf, except you print line or print. Next one is JoptionPane. Who's done JOption before? Used it? Yeah? What's the difference between JOption and the others? It gives you a window? A box. Yeah, it gives up like a dialog box here, so you can say here, show message dialog. That's pretty good to give us some sort of like graphical thing. The other ones are like more command line applications. application. That's why I mentioned here, that's the syntax to show a message on the screen. We're going to show you how to use JOption as well to take input from the user, which is slightly different. It's pretty much the same, but slightly different. So I've gave 2 examples of JOption here, the syntax, which I use in the application. Next one, we're going to talk about the scanner. You know, storing user input. We want the user to input something, to make a selection, and we want to capture that somehow and do something with it. So we use the scanner. Who's used the scanner before? I don't mean like scanner to scan things. Yeah? Use the scanner. Imran, used scanner before?
No.
You never seen a scanner in the library? Scan documents. You never scanned your passport or anything?
I don't have a passport.
Oh, right. That explains it. Yeah. So anyone use a scanner before? Come on, put your hands up. Wow, the whole class has used a scanner. Alright, okay, so this is how you do a scanner. Pretty much, it's the same, it looks similar to initialize an object, isn't it? You know, you put scanner, and then you put the name, it can be anything. In here I said user int equals new scanner, and that's the syntax, system.in. And then what we do is we ask the user for something, so we're going to say yes, print, please enter your age, and we're going to capture that, say int age. We create a variable called age, and we put that line here, user int, next int. If we want to take in doubles, we put, it could be user int, it doesn't matter, it could be any name. We say next double. If we want to take in a string, we say next line. That's pretty much the syntax for that. The JOption, we can use that for same, looks exactly the same. We create, this time we create a variable because it only takes in strings. It doesn't take in numbers. In here we can just take in numbers, we decide what we want to take in. But here we can only take strings. So we have to create a variable that holds a string, and then we write this line, JoptionPane dot show input dialog, and then we put the message, we put null in the beginning, we put enter an amount we'd like to add to your wallet, and what's going to happen is going to do that message, and it's going to wait for, it's going to have like an input field, and it's going to ask you to input a value. Once you take that value, obviously you can't do anything with it, you can't subtract or add numbers to it because it's a string, so you have to convert the string into a double, in this case, because it's money. You have to create another variable called double make top up double, I called it that, and then you put double dot fast double. So that basically converts that string into a double, and then stores it into there. So now we've got the value in there, which we can now pass it on to the object. So for that particular customer, we can pass on the value he wants to add to his account. So that's the user input side done. You got any questions, or is that okay? Because you're going to need it for the application. Yeah, good. Let's go.